Onward Headhunting is the source for elite M&A, operations, and finance executive talent exclusively for private equity funds and their high-growth portfolio companies. When top-tier leadership seems impossible to find, Onward delivers with speed and accuracy. This is retained search built to shape the future of your most important assets. Learn more on LinkedIn or visit onwardheadhunting.com to start the conversation. And let's move your most critical executive searches onward.
This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. Thank you for listening. We cover startups, we cover private equity, AI, and a lot more, and we appreciate you joining us. These are 9 stories that we're following today. First, the markets point up today on hopes for a large rate cut, and we'll combine the first 3 stories. And partly what's driving this is new jobs created last month came in at an abysmal number, 22,000 jobs created. And we look at this and we think about the markets pointing up on hopes for a large rate cut. And all we can think about is the deficit spending without job creation and growth is just a major catastrophe. Whether deficit spending is under the Democrats, under the Republicans, that kind of deficit spending and not having concurrent growth is absolutely a catastrophe. We'll talk about that more over the next several months, of course. Second, Tesla's U.S. market share dropped to a near 8-year low in August as buyers chose electric vehicles from a growing stable of rivals over the aging lineup from Tesla. Tesla's down 13% year to date. Third, Detroit's car makers are going to save billions in Trump's emissions rollback as he pulls back these rules that required a certain miles per gallon. That's going to save Detroit billions of dollars, simply a fascinating thing. The next story we're following is Microsoft's cloud business is growing at a really rapid pace. There's a great story in the Motley Fool about how Microsoft may be the stock to buy based on AI growth and what is happening. Fifth, and really this is a side note, our family is on a multi-day bike trip. The only thing that I know for sure is that I never, ever want to see another bike again in my life after this trip. It is what it is. Next, there's a great piece in a news blog called The Daily Upside as to the struggles with private equity. The piece is absolutely excellent. It starts with a quote. Why is a skateboard a better investment in 2025 than private equity? Because you could flip it. The concept being that people have tons of investments that they're invested in that they can't sell, that they're stuck with. And there's a lot of that discussion in this article. It's actually a great, great piece. We'll talk about this more. We've talked about it some. The next issue is the Carlyle Group is broadly outperforming the industry. It's up 26% year to date. Apollo Global Management, in contrast, is down about 20% year to date. So they're just knocking it out of the park. Carlyle is, and going against the grain of what's happening in private equity. Finally, another story that we're following today, billionaire Bill Ackman. The story goes maybe the next Warren Buffett. He's got 30% of his portfolio in 2 brilliant AI stocks. Here, Ackman's heavily invested in Amazon, 9% of his portfolio, and Uber, 21% of his portfolio. That's the story there on Bill Ackman and what he is doing. Again, these are 9 of the stories we're following today. A lot of interesting stuff going on in private equity and AI and a lot more. And hopefully the market's going up for somewhat the wrong reasons, that interest rates are going to go down because the economy is in shambles. Thank you for listening to the Becker Business Podcast and the Becker Private Equity Podcast. Again, this week ranked number 1 in the Apple Business News rankings, and we're thrilled with that. We're thrilled with the help that we get from Chanel Bunger and so many other people. Thank you so much for listening to the Becker Business Podcast, the Becker Private Equity Podcast.